Welcome back to some more Elite Speak, and I'm here for your AEW Dark September 22nd, 2020 review. This episode featured at least 3 to 4 good matches. Good stuff. This was one of the better Darks in a while, match quality wise. And the show opens up with Veda Scott, Excalibur, and Taz, and it was good to see Veda once again. I hope they continue to use her on the booth because she offers up some nice chemistry between Taz and Excalibur. It's good to hear them banter. Their banter is entertaining. Let's get on with that first match, and it was Fuego del Sol and Rembrandt versus the Dark Order's Stu, Grayson, and Evil Uno. Fuego gets to work on Stu early as he attempts to use his size and speed. He gets a quick tag on Rembrandt, and he gets a knee strike on Stu, and Stu shows his strength with a Uranagi on Rembrandt. Rembrandt gets worked over for the majority of the match. Stu then pins Rembrandt after a backdrop for a 2 count, which was interrupted by Fuego. Stu later delivers a nightfall backbreaker on Fuego, and Uno then hits him with a flatliner for the win. Solid match, and I give it a 2.5. Next match, we have Ricky Starks versus Christopher Daniels. This was one of the good matches on the night. Both locked it up to start, and Starks gets the clothesline to Daniels early. Starks later counters an armbar with the head scissors. Daniels then gets Starks again with an arm drag to an arm bar. Later, Daniels gets some control as he hits his patented springboard moonsault to Starks for a 2 count. Starks then gets Daniels outside and he delivers some stomps to Daniels, but later sends him into the ring for a 2 count. Daniels attempts to suplex Starks, but he counters with a swinging neck breaker. Later, both have a series of 2 counts via cradles. Not long after this, Starks hits his spear on Daniels for a 3 count. Solid match. I give it a 3. TV worthy, but not much more than that. Good stuff. Post-match, Starks joins the commentary booth immediately after his match with Christopher Daniels. I question why they did this. They used to do this before Taz came in permanently. They would give certain wrestlers a chance to flex their mic skills in the booth, but maybe that's what they were doing with Starks here. I don't know. He was good on commentary. He was good. Next match, we had Puff and Calvin Stewart versus the Butcher and the Blade. Good stuff here. Many people fell in love with Puff in this match, if the live chat had anything to say about it. Butcher and Blade waste no time in going after the 2 newcomers. Blade officially starts the match with Calvin, but immediately tags in Butcher. Butcher and the Blade continues to wear down Stewart as Puff looks on. Stewart tags in Puff and he delivers some shots to Blade with some flair. He has some charisma, this Puff guy. Butcher then comes to his aid and both deliver some shots. Butcher then delivers a crossbody to Puff and manages to tag in Stewart, whom later gets a full death for his troubles and the loss. The Butcher and the Blade win the match. Match gets a 2. Definitely dark worthy. Will they bring Puff back after what the fans thought? We shall see. Next match, we had newly signed Will Hobbs versus Serpentico. Luther grabbed the leg of Hobbs, which helped Serpentico to start the match. Serpentico attempted to whip Hobbs but didn't work. He instead sent him to the outside of the ring. Later, Hobbs gets a delayed vertical on Serpentico for a 2 count. Luther later pulls Serpentico out of the corner, which throws off Hobbs' momentum as he falls outside the ring. Luther then gets him some more of Hobbs on the outside. He continues to interfere in the match. Serpentico later gets Hobbs into the ring and delivers a double stomp to Hobbs for a 2 count. Serpentico then goes for a crossbody, but Hobbs catches him midair and sets him up for an Oklahoma Stampede, but instead He gets a spine buster off on Serpentico and gets the 3 count. Good match. He nearly killed him with that spine buster. Probably the best in AEW. Next to 10. Dark Order's 10. Next match we had the Lucha Brothers versus Smiley and Stardom. Stardom and Phoenix starts off the match with some nice mat sequences. Ray Phoenix shows off some more of his ring rope work as he rolled out of a hold and manages to tag Penta in as he kicks the head off of Stardom. Penta later dove from the top to the yam bags of Stardom with a double stomp. Stardom later gets the hot tag to Smiley, who runs wild on both the Lucha Brothers and delivers a nice suplex on Phoenix and tags Stardom back in, and which was their downfall as they delivered a double team on Penta. Smiley later goes over the top to Phoenix on the outside. The Lucha Brothers later win the match via an assisted package pile driver to Stardom. Match was okay. It gets a 2. Dark worthy indeed. Next match we had Ryzen and Xander Gold versus the Dark Orders 5 and 10. Alan Angels and Preston Vance. 5 and Gold start the match with wrist locks and hold. Later 5 sends Gold into the post and follows with a clothesline. 10 later gets the tag and sends Gold into the air. Later 10 ripcords Ryzen for a cutter, and Ryzen later goes for a moonsault but misses, and 10 makes the tag to 5. Gold later shows his agility and backflips off 5 and takes him down with a clothesline and follows with a Northern Lights for a 2 count. 5 later leads Gold into 10 for a nice spine buster, the second of the night from a different guy. Good. Later, a diving stomp into a power slam ends the match. Double team combo finisher. 5 and 10 wins the match as a result. Match gets a 2. Solid for Dark. Kevin Blackwood and Daniel Garcia versus Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Janela and Garcia starts the match with holds. Later, Kiss has a nice exchange with Blackwood using his speed and gymnastic ability. Later, Janela dives from the ropes to the outside on top of Blackwood and Garcia. Later, both win. Both Janela and Kiss wins with Kiss's diving split leg drop. I didn't take too much notes during this because a lot was happening. It was too quick, so I just got what I could, and that's what I ended up with. Match was a 2, definitely Dark worthy. Next match we had the Gun Club versus Badu and Cruz. Cruz could definitely use another name because Cruz is too generic. How many Cruzes are there? It's too many. But Billy shoulder tackles Badu to start. Billy later bridges him for a 2 count. Later, Tiara sends Badu into Cruz for the tag. Cruz later clotheslines Austin and follows it up with an elbow for a 2 count. Austin later chops Badu a few times, but he turns his momentum into a power slam for a 2 count. Billy later splashes Cruz and delivers the Fame-Master for the win. The Gun Club gets another one. They continue to roll. Match gets a 2, definitely Dark worthy. It got the Gun Club another W. Now here's the string of matches worth watching the show for. First up is my second favorite of that night. KiLynn King versus Serena Deeb. Newly signed Serena Deeb. Both locked it up, and King brings her down with a arm drag, but Deeb returns the favor. Deeb later shows her skills and brings King down with a nice mat sequence. King then tosses Deeb into the ropes for a nice whiplash effect. I bet she felt that. Deeb later gets a neck breaker off on King via the use of the ropes for a 2 count. Deeb then locks King in her Serenity lock and she taps out. Not long after, Deeb picks up her first ever win in AEW in the process, and both looked good in this match no matter who won and who lost. Both looked good, and that's all that matters. This match gets a 3. in my opinion. Definitely TV worthy. And it's clear that they see something in KiLynn King because she gets put into these matches with people who have great skill. And I guess they want to see how she handles it, and she handled it well. And hopefully she gets something for her troubles in the near future, because she's been the most solid of the ladies they brought in. So they would be fools to let her go. So we shall see. Next match was the match of the night, in my opinion. Lee Johnson versus newcomer Ben Carter. Both of these guys put on a clinic. And this was the best Lee Johnson has looked since he's been there. This was good stuff. Definitely worth going back to watch. Both starts the match with a sequence of mat wrestling. Carter then shows his quickness and speed as he cartwheels out of a hold. Carter later delivers a snap suplex for a 2 count. He sends Lee into the turnbuckle prior to this. Johnson attempts to come back, but Carter transitions into the STF. Lee desperately makes it to the rope. Both head to the top rope, and Johnson knocks Carter off, but Carter gets back to it and delivers a superplex to Carter. Both had a great sequence where Johnson delivers a Blue Thunder for a 2 count. Lee gets 2 close near falls on Carter. Carter delivers a Spanish fly to Lee and kicks him in the head after. But then goes back to the top and delivers a frog splash for the win. Carter gets his first win in AEW in the process. It was good stuff. This description, these notes, doesn't do the match justice. You gotta go and watch it yourself. Seek it out. After this is another good match. This is the main event. I thought Lee Johnson versus Ben Carter, that should have been the main event. But main event, you have Eddie Kingston versus Brian Pillman Jr. This was a good match too, though. Brawling. Kingston goes for a boot, but Pillman catches it. Pillman arm drags King and drop kicks him as Eddie takes a breather outside. Eddie then pulls Pillman from the apron and drives him into the guardrails. Eddie then mauls Pillman for a good while. Brian later gets some momentum and shows his high-flying ability on Kingston. Pillman chops Eddie several times, but he turns his back, and Eddie makes him pay with a clothesline to the back of the head. Pillman then starts to feel it as he comes back to life on King. He then delivers some chops and runs him into the corner. Pillman later super kicks King out of the ring. Pillman later shotgun drop kicks Eddie to the outside. Brian delivers a springboard clothesline to Kingston, and he got a 2 count for his efforts there. Kingston later delivers a nice suplex on Brian, but gets a rope break in the process. No pin for him. Pillman later delivers a type of driver to King for a close 3 count, but he gets a 2. But Kingston later delivers his spinning back fist to Brian Pillman Jr. for the win. Solid match, but it just couldn't top the previous one, Lee Johnson versus Ben Carter. It couldn't live up to it, but it was still good, but it wasn't better than that one. And there you have it. There was your AEW Dark review for September 22nd, 2020, episode 53. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you with that.